Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, and boy, oh boy, go big or go home is apparently the policy that Wargaming is adopting here with regards to hybrid ships. Not even a full week since the Issei has been released. We have our next hybrid ship that isn't the Tone announced, which is the American Tier 9 battleship Kearsarge. More on that in a minute. I'm reading from the dev blog, so as always, if you want to read along as I read aloud, check out the description down below. Any relevant images or artwork I will throw up on screen, and it's not just the Kearsarge in this dev blog. Some other actual interesting and quite exciting ships are coming out as well, but of course the Kearsarge is going to be the focus of most of this video. So now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get right on into it. So, ST 10.6, new ships. American Tier 9 battleship Kearsarge, Tier 8 cruiser Rochester, and French Tier 9 cruiser Carnot have been added to the game for testing. Please all information, yada yada yada. Preliminary website. Alright, so the Kearsarge is a Tier 9 battleship. A unique design for a powerful battleship hybrid developed in the United States in the second half of the 1930s. Kearsarge is armed with 12 406mm guns and 4 turrets. The battleship has a good firing range and a large amount of HP. According to the original concept, the ship is armed with a squadron of attack aircraft, which is armed with Tiny Tim rockets, has a good amount of HP, high chance of causing fire, and good armor penetration. The best tactic on Kearsarge is to play at medium range because of her high salvo weight and good concealment. So, the Kearsarge, I thought this was a joke when I was told on stream on Friday night that this thing had been announced. And I'll play that clip right here for y'all. Monty with Tiny Tims, no, you're kidding, Muppet. You're kidding. No way. No way. That will be an emergency video so hard if that devlog. No. No, no, no. Oh! They did it! Oh no! I have to make another video for tomorrow! Oh, Muppet! Oh no! They really did it! No! Oh no! Why? It's exactly what I said they shouldn't do! So yeah. This is... I literally said in my hybrid video on Monday that this is what I feared would become the big problem. That these hybrid ships, like the Issei, would do well, because the Issei is doing well. But I do contribute that to the fact that Issei is a real steel ship, a very unique historical ship, and is quite cheap down at Tier 6, only $27. That this would happen, and evidently they've been working on this for some time because the model's already done stuff, as you guys have seen in the image that was up on screen a few seconds ago. And now we've got the Kearsarge, which sacrifices no firepower, unlike the Issei. She has 12 16-inch guns at Tier 9, in fact gaining firepower over the Iowa. And this is, I think, a mistake, a big mistake. Now, there are some drawbacks to the ship, and we'll get to that in a minute when we go over her detailed stats, but why? I mean, money, obviously, but this ship is so out of the frickin' blue. I didn't even know a design for this had even existed. This is apparently a proper hybrid, not a conversion like we would have seen with the Iowa conversion to a hybrid ship, like I talked about in that same hybrid video, but a full-on Montana with a flight deck. Now, the aircraft, again, we'll get into the detailed stats here in a minute, but they are rocket planes. They are Tiny Tims, though. They are the Midway's rocket planes, so they do frickin' hurt. But with the changes coming to rocket planes with 10.5, maybe they won't be so bad, but again, we'll get into that in a minute. So we'll move on to the Rochester, and I'll give you some more thoughts on the Kearsarge when we get to the detailed stats. Alright, so the Rochester, an Oregon City-class heavy cruiser which differs from her immediate predecessors, the Baltimore class, by her more advanced AA defenses. The cruiser is armed with 9 230mm guns, and 3 turrets with powerful AP shells. The Rochester has good concealment and is packed with an equipment, surveillance radar, hydro, and DFAA. They're available in different slots. However, her consumables have a reduced number of charges relative to her classmates. The Rochester will be most effective in the battles for key areas with allied support. And thanks to her high salvo weight and improved ricochet angle, she can effectively deal damage to enemy cruisers and battleships at medium range. So pretty much a Baltimore with more consumables, but less charges and better AA. That's the long story short for the Rochester. Should be an interesting ship, and be interested to see how she's going to be released, since she's a tier 8 premium ship. Alright, the Carnot. One of the designs of a super heavy cruiser that preceded the Dunkirk class battleships. The Carnot is armed with 10 305mm guns and 3 turrets, 1 quadruple turret, 2 triple turrets. The ship stands out for good survivability, nice ballistics, and high cruising speed. She's equipped with a solid selection of consumables, the choice between hydro and DFAA in one slot, and fighter, spotter, or engine boost in another slot. The ship is designed for long-range combat, and if necessary can quickly change flank or take an advantageous position for firing. Connecticut has been added to test the combat effectiveness of U.S. battleships in close combat. The ship is a Vermont counterpart with reinforced plating and lightweight shells with higher velocity but lower damage. So we may finally be getting that proper brawling split line out of the American battleships. Who knows? This could just be a one-off premium, but Connecticut sounds interesting as well. Alright, so the detailed stats. This is where we're really going to get into it with the Kearsarge. Alright, so the Kearsarge has 84,300 hit points and 32mm of plating, standard for Tier 9. Actually, healthy amount of hit points for Tier 9 as well. Might be compensating for the massive flight deck that you have strapped to the midsection of the ship as well. And she has 12 16-inch guns with a firing range of 19.6 kilometers. Alright, and that's base. So with the American modules, you'll be able to get that out well over 20 kilometers. HE shells have a maximum damage of 5,700, and they can penetrate 68mm of armor, have a 36% chance of starting a fire. Her AP, 13,100 is the maximum damage, and they have the velocity of the 701 meters a second. Guns that are the same from the North Carolina, so the very slow, very low velocity guns. So these are the North Carolinas, I'm assuming 45 caliber guns, not the 55 caliber or the 50 caliber guns of the Iowa and the Montana. So it's going to be pretty difficult to land these shells at longer range. But they have a reload time of 36 seconds. So yeah, pretty darn long reload time there on those guns. With a maximum dispersion of 256 meters and a sigma of 1.9. Her secondaries are actually fairly decent. She has 14 127mm guns with a range of 7 kilometers. She has 7 turrets per side. So, I mean, I wouldn't go for a secondary build on the ship, but you could. Alright, now her maximum speed is 30 knots, so not the fastest ship. Turning circle radius of 1,050 meters. 18-second rudder shift time. And a surface detectability of 16.9 kilometers. And she only has damage con and repair parties, so no spotter aircraft, nothing else. Now her aircraft. They have 1,660 hit points. They cruise at a speed of 176 knots. And the attacking flight is 3, and there's 3 aircraft per squadron. So basically just like the Issei, your attacking squadron is it. You don't get, multiple attacking flights like you do in other carriers. And they have a restoration time of 120 seconds, so just like the Issei 2 minutes. And they have a detectability range of 10 kilometers, and again, aircraft on deck is 3. What's interesting too is you only get 3 rockets per payload. So 3 rockets across 3 planes is 9 rockets per flight. So not a lot of rockets per flight, but again, they are the tiny Tims. So they have a maximum rocket damage of 5,400 and a armor penetration of 68 millimeters and a 33% chance to cause a fire. So not a lot of rockets, but they do a pretty darn decent chunk of damage. They can pen 68 millimeters of armor. So with the changes to the rocket planes in 10.5, the delay that's coming in, it may not be terrifying, but they will surely be darn effective. And again, why? We don't need this. People are enjoying the Issei because it's a cheap tier 6 premium. And again, there's a big up there because it actually existed. But this thing at tier 9, I mean, again, it's effectively a carrier in a battleship slot with no limitations. And we don't know how this is coming out for yet. It could be still, it could be Colt, it could be for cash. If I had to put money down, it'd probably be for cash. So, and like with the Issei, like I said, it doesn't give up any firepower. It's not giving up any guns for this. It's just has a flight deck welded into the middle of it. It looks freaking weird. It's like something I would do if I like sawed my Enterprise model in half and glued it together with my New Jersey model and then added on another turret on the end. Like, if you had done the Iowa conversion, at least it was giving up the rear turrets. This thing's just 4 turrets, 12 guns. He has a 36-second reload time, but when you have planes, too, it's like, do you really even care about that? It's just freaking nuts. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I hope they shelf it for forever. I hope they have problems balancing it and they just shelf it and we don't, and it doesn't see the light of day. I really do, because I don't want to deal with FDR and then 4 freaking Kearsarges in one team. Like, that's just murder at that point. It's not a good idea. I don't think it needs to come out. It's an interesting looking ship. It really does. It really is. It is an interesting design. Sure. Looks like something from some strategy game that's like the top the top tech battleship for some nation. You know, it's an aircraft carrier and it's got a bunch of guns on it too, but I don't want to see it in game, but it's probably going to come out anyway. Alright, the Rochester, it's a Baltimore with more equipment on it. The consumables, they don't tell us the charges that you get. I'm assuming she gets 2 charges base instead of 3. That would be what I would put money on. Now the Carnot, something more interesting and a bit more, you know, nice to see coming out. The French finally getting a supercruiser, although you could definitely argue that the Henri was already a supercruiser. So she has 66,450 hit points, plating of 25 millimeters, and the fire duration is 60 seconds. So you get 1 quadruple 305 millimeter turret, and then you get the 2x3 305 millimeter turret. She has a firing range of 19 kilometers. Her HE shells do 4,250 damage, and they can pin 51 millimeters base with a 25% chance of causing a fire. And they have a reload time of, where is it mentioned? 24 seconds. Okay, so yeah, about a on the higher end for the super cruisers, but with the reload module, you can of course get that down. Her maximum dispersion is 208 meters, and she has a sigma of 2.05. So pretty nice there. Super cruiser dispersion is, I'm assuming, going to happen with it as well. Her secondary, she has 8x2 100 millimeter guns with a range of 8 kilometers. Nothing really special to mention there. Maximum speed 34.5 knots. With the engine boost, you can get that up to over 40, so a pretty quick supercruiser there with a turning circle radius of 870 meters and a rush of time of 14.4 seconds. And she gets damage con, again hydro, DFAA in slot number 2, fighter spotter, engine boost in slot number 3, and slot number 4 gets repair party. Alright, so overall, Kearsarge, however you say it, I hope it doesn't come to the game. Again, interesting looking design, interesting looking ship, but it's not what the game needs right now. I mean, again, with the rocket plane changes, it may not be that bad, but still, just, you know, 4 Kearsarges and an FDR in one team is like nightmare fuel for every other ship on the enemy team. We'll see what happens with it. Again, I hope it doesn't come out. Rochester, again, Baltimore with more equipment but less charges and better AA. Carnot, definitely looking forward to it. Glad the French are finally getting a supercruiser. Guess that just leaves the British now as the last major nation without a supercruiser, when ironically they kind of invented the battlecruiser and they don't have one yet. Well, a high tier supercruiser at least. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, especially with the Kearsarge, however you say it. And let me know what you guys think about that. This was not supposed to be the video today. It was supposed to be a video about the nerfing of the airstrike consumables for the Dutch ships, but of course when the Kearsarge came to my attention, I had to put that on hold and talk about this, so that video will be coming out on Monday. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way now to 30,000 subs. We just passed 26,400 a few days ago. I cannot thank you guys enough for that. Hope you're all having a wonderful weekend. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.